Right, ladies and gents, Pokemon had a bit of a resurgence, didn't it? We had Detective Pikachu, that came out, everyone seemed to love it. Then it sort of fell by the wayside. I say everyone seemed to love it. It did really well. And then there was talk of a sequel, and then it's died a death. You read the title. We're getting a live-action Pokemon series, which sounds promising, and then you read that it's from Netflix, and then it all falls apart. I'm really dubious about this. In fact, I really think this could be garbage. Quite sad, in fact, about this. Quite sad. Netflix is not the place to do this currently. They have been revamping older properties. Make no mistake, Pokemon's a relatively old property. It's from the 90s now, isn't it? So it's a relative... It is from the 90s, yeah. So it is a relatively old property. It has obviously stayed in the public eye for some time because of, you know, they revamp themselves numerous times. But Netflix taking these older properties has led to middling success and outcome. Whether that be critically or fan sort of feedback, right? The most latest of that would, of course, be Masters of the Universe Revelation, a series which has been panned by fans. Majority. And again, a lot of people like it. I don't take that away from you. More for you if you did like it. But this spells disaster to me. Unfortunately. I'm really not looking forward to this. For multiple reasons. Do you really think Netflix has the budget capable? Do they have the money? Yes. Do you think that they will give over the money capable of making this something actually worthwhile and special? No. I don't think so. I think that that's where it lies, outside of all the other nonsense that they'll be pushing in this show. So a new Pokemon series is in early development at Netflix. Variety has learned exclusively from sources. As the project is still in its early days, no details are available about the plot. However, sources say that Joe Henderson is attached to write and executive produce. Henderson currently serves as co-showrunner and executive producer on the popular Netflix series Lucifer, which is preparing to air its 6th and final season at the streamer. So obviously he needs something to move on to, and Netflix probably want him to stay around. So they were like, have Pokemon? I guess. Sources also say that the project would be a live-action series akin to the Detective Pikachu film starring Ryan Reynolds and Justice Smith that was released in 2019. Reps for Netflix and Henderson did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment. It's live action, guys. It has to be so good. Now, I will say this. Regardless of how much you hated Death Note, right? Death Note sucked. It was a bad film. They did get the demon right. It did look great. So they can do it. But can you do it on the scale that it needs for Pokemon? There's Pokemon everywhere. I just can't see it. And what story are you going to follow? Who is this going to be for? Is it going to be the original? Is Ash Ketchum going to be there? Is Misty and Brock going to be around? Oh, better not be all perverse, Brock, because Netflix will get you. Because it can't be that now, can it? It won't be that. Now, Variety note that the move to develop an original Netflix Pokemon series comes as the streamer has made itself a home to multiple existing Pokemon shows. I don't understand how. I'm confused with how they landed all of this, but that includes Pokemon Indigo League and Pokemon Journeys, among others. Netflix has also been making a strong push into anime in recent years. Again, some of their anime, or at least some of the anime that they acquire, is actually pretty decent. Genuinely. And they state, original series based on Far Cry, Splinter Cell and Terminator. That's stuff which they've been doing recently, or at least has been announced recently. The Terminator one will be interesting, because that's from the same guys who did Ghost in the Shell. Netflix has been moving into more live-action adaptations of anime titles as well, including the upcoming Cowboy Bebop and One Piece live-action shows. I think if I remember rightly, I do actually have the script for One Piece somewhere. Can't remember. But it didn't grab me enough to even read it at that point. The streamer previously released a live-action Death Note film in 2017, which was panned critically and audience-wise. Everyone hated it. Fans hated it. That's more important, isn't it? You can't just keep taking these properties that have a fan base and go, you'll eat this up, whatever we do with it. Because we won't. People are becoming more and more dubious now. In addition to his work on Lucifer, Henderson is currently developing a series adaptation of the comic book Shadecraft at Netflix, which was announced in March. Henderson penned the comic, working alongside artist Lee Garbett. Henderson is co-writing the pilot of that project with Georgia Lee, and with both also executive producing. Garbett will produce. Henderson is also known for his work on shows such as 11, 22, 63 at Hulu, and Graceland and White Collar at USA Network. Those are not ones which I'm massively familiar with here in the UK. And they note here, this is an interesting piece of information about Pokemon. The Pokemon franchise as a whole has become a worldwide phenomenon since first launching in 1995. The franchise now encompasses multiple television shows, films, video games, the trading card game, books, manga, comics, and much, much more. On the live-action front, Detective Pikachu proved to be a box office success upon its release. The film grossed over 430 million worldwide on a reported budget of 150 million. Add another 150 million, they still took over 100 million in profit. Not bad. Not bad. They did really well with this. Why are they? Who's got the rights now? Why are they selling the rights on to bloody Netflix? Look, at the end of the day, you need to do really, really well on the budget here. You need to give them as much money as they ask for. Netflix are renowned for not doing that. You only have to look at Jupiter's Legacy as a result of that. They wanted a lot of money, right? But it wasn't, you know, it was a movie budget for a series. It was like $200 million? It was like 12 million episode, 20, yeah, something like that. It wasn't much. No, it wasn't even 200 million. Off the top of my head, maybe it was 200 million. But basically, they wanted about the budget for a movie, right? Now, that had a reported budget. Detective Pikachu had a reported budget of 150 million. They're going to want that for this series. They're going to have to create costumes and set pieces that will have to be reused. They're going to have to create the 3D models to use for CG. There's a lot to go into this, and I don't think Netflix are going to be the ones that will give them money. And I think that that's where it's going to fall apart. I don't want to see a half-assed Pikachu. You know, if I want that, I'll just draw a picture. Like, come on. Like, that's not what I want. I think this has the potential to be absolute garbage, unfortunately, and it's really going to hinge on who they get to act in it. Because if they get some garbage actors, it's not going to be believable. Because they're going to have to interact with a whole world that is not real. And that, again, is where it's going to fall apart. What's the story that they're going to tell? Because the original Pokemon had a story that was big in scope. Really, really big in scope. And remember, that takes money if you're doing it in live action. Money that Netflix, traditionally, historically speaking, do not like to hand over. So anyway, let me know what you think down below. Cheers. Take care.